Minister.
With permission, Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House that Buckingham Palace are at this moment issuing the following statement. It reads as follows. It is announced from Buckingham Palace that with regret the Prince and Princess of Wales have decided to separate. Their Royal Highnesses have no plans to divorce and their constitutional positions are unaffected. This decision has been reached amicably and they will both continue to participate fully in the upbringing of their children. Their Royal Highnesses will continue to carry out full and separate programs of public engagements and will from time to time attend family occasions and national events together. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh, though saddened, understand and sympathise with the difficulties that have led to this decision. Her Majesty and His Royal Highness particularly hope that the intrusions into the privacy of the Prince and Princess may now cease. They believe that a degree of privacy and understanding is essential if their Royal Highnesses are to provide a happy and secure upbringing for their children while continuing to give a wholehearted commitment to their public duties. Madam Speaker, that is the text of the announcement. I'm sure that I speak for the whole House and millions of people beyond it in offering our support to both the Prince and the Princess of Wales. I am also sure that the House will sympathise with the wish that they should both be afforded a degree of privacy. Madam Speaker, the House will wish to know that the decision to separate has no constitutional implications. The succession to the throne is unaffected by it. The children of the Prince and Princess retain their position in the line of succession, and there is no reason why the Princess of Wales should not be crowned Queen in due course. The Prince of Wales' succession as head of the Church of England is also unaffected. Neither the Prince nor the Princess is supported by the civil list, and this position will remain unchanged. Madam Speaker, I know there will be great sadness at this news, but I know also that as they continue with their royal duties and with bringing up their children, the Prince and Princess will have the full support, understanding and affection of this House and of this country.
To John Smith.
Madam Speaker, may I first of all thank the Prime Minister for making a statement to the House. I'm sure that the whole House will share the feeling of sadness which he has expressed at the announcement of the separation, and will also share the hope that a greater degree of privacy might result for the Prince and Princess of Wales and their children in what would be a difficult time for any family. We associate ourselves entirely with the expression of support for the Prince and Princess of Wales in the carrying out of their public duties.
Madam Speaker, I wish to associate myself and my honourable and right honourable friends with the words of the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition. Madam Speaker, these are going to be difficult times for the Royal Family, and the whole House will wish to extend to them our sympathy, and in particular to the Prince and Princess of Wales, and to assure them that whatever decisions they take on these purely personal matters, they can be assured of our support, continued support in future. I would wish to reinforce the comments made by the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition in expressing the hope that they would indeed be allowed a period of months in which to have a degree of privacy and peace, and longer than that indeed if that's possible. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the Prime Minister for having expressed so clearly the constitutional position in this matter, and to thank him for having expressed what I'm sure are sentiments that will be felt on all sides of the House. But in particular, I'd like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to the Prince and Princess of Wales for their past and continued service to the nation.
The Prime Minister.
I'm sure that both right honourable gentlemen have spoken for the country and what they've had to say, and I need comment no further upon their remarks.
Sir Edward Heath.
Speaker, I think the House, Father of the House, to express the understanding of the whole House in the action which has been taken, which has been so clearly described by the Prime Minister. It must be one of the saddest announcements made by any Prime Minister in modern times. And I'm sure the whole House feels exactly the same way about it. I too support the plea which has already been made for their Royal Highnesses to be granted privacy. And if I may, my position suggested, perhaps we in this House, in the questions we put and in the speeches we make, might give leadership in extending privacy to their Royal Highness.
To Willie Ross.
I trust the Prime Minister understands the statement was received on this bench with very great sympathy for the royal family and very deep regret. And could I support what the Prime Minister said in requesting a period of quietness for those who find themselves in this unfortunate situation? For the last thing any family needs at such a time is a forest of TV cameras or other cameras pointed in their direction. And indeed, if less such cameras had been pointed in their direction and less comment made, perhaps this might not have happened.
Reverend Ian Paisley.
On behalf of my party, I'd like to associate myself with what the Prime Minister has said and the Leader of the Opposition and the other leaders in this House. I think that what the royal couple need is our sympathy and our prayers, and especially for their family at this time. And I trust that what has been said in this House about press coverage will be taken heed to, and that the family will have a time of quiet and calm to get over this problem.
Mr. Cryer.
Could the Prime Minister accept that even a family of very great wealth and position like this have felt the strains which has resulted in divorce? Wouldn't it also be true that for the many that resulted in separation and difficulties for the marriage? Isn't it also true that hundreds of thousands of ordinary people throughout our country go through the similar strains, and it's an equal degree of sadness that afflicts them as well? And isn't it also true that poor housing, low pay, rotten conditions of employment place on such marriages far and away greater strains, and that it will be a welcome day when the government brought a statement to this House to relieve those strains and not just this narrow royal family?
Do you wish to reply? Prime Minister.
Madam Speaker, I think the whole House will endorse many of the remarks that have been made over the last few minutes by right honourable and honourable gentlemen. To ensure that there is no dispute or misunderstanding, may I make the point beyond any dispute that their Royal Highnesses have separated. Both the Prince and Princess have made it clear they have no plans to divorce.
Mr. Skinner.
The Prime Minister realised that probably the most controversial part of what he had to say was in its reference to the fact that there would be no constitutional changes. I think it would be fair to say that at this time, as a result of the occurrences over the course of the past several months and the pushing of the self-destruct button by the monarchy, that we could now be witnessing the end of the monarchy, and the reigning Queen could possibly be the last. And it would be not something that could be blamed upon people like those of us that believe that there's no need for a monarchy in this land now. In view of that, could I ask him to bear in mind that this shattering announcement will result in changes in our Constitution, and that it's high time that we stop this charade of swearing allegiance to the Queen and her heirs and successors, because we don't know from time to time who they are.
Madam Speaker, the honourable gentleman does not, I believe, speak for the nation or any significant part of it. The affection for the monarchy and members of the royal family in this country is deep, is widespread, and is enduring. We live in a monarchy, and if I may speak personally, I hope and believe we always will.
Dame Jill Knight.
Madam Speaker, could I say how greatly my colleagues on this side of the House, and I'm sure many on the other side, resent and reject the remarks which have been made by the Honourable Member for Bolton. I would not wish the voice of this House to say other than that we are loyal subjects of Her Majesty, and we fully appreciate what she does for this nation, which is immeasurable.
Order, order. I think we now move on. Thank you, Prime Minister.